And I can tell you off-season window is done. The Chargers still in search of a first division crown since 2009. Mixed bag for Justin Herbert 2024. Set career highs, good in wins and touchdown to interception ratio. Also had career worsts in sacks taken. And related news, pass yards per game. Also had that disaster in the wild card loss, throwing 4 picks. Chargers only called the design pass play 59% of their snaps. That's the 10th lowest rate in the league. Hat tip there to offensive coordinator Greg Roman. Jeremy, now year 2 for Herbert and Roman together. What are the expectations for this offense in 2025?
Well, they're going to double down on the running game. This is a Greg Roman offense. They're going to do what they do and run the ball. They felt they could have ran the ball better last year, but they also want to find, with Justin Herbert, ways to get the vertical outside passing game going when defenses expect them to throw it. They can't just rely on the running game and the play action. So they need rookie Trey Harris, Quentin Johnston, Mike Williams that they reacquired to get that done. They're going to rely a little bit more on Herbert with the passing game they did a year ago, and you can see him actually run the ball a little bit more, be involved in some of the play action stuff using his legs. They don't want to break him; they want to be careful with him, but you can see an uptick there.
Jeremy, the other thing they're going to do is they're going to get sacked less, and here's why. They drafted Omarion Hampton in the first round. He is an explosive running back, average over 5 yards per carry. The other thing he does is he will be involved in the passing game. Caught 73 passes at North Carolina, and what Greg Roman wants to do, Jeremy, to your point, he wants to run the ball and play action. And Booger, you know this as a former defensive lineman. What's the best way to slow down a pass rush? Run the ball right at the defense. So I think Omarion Hampton really accomplishes 2 things. It diversifies the offense, and I think the number of sacks, that 41 number, will be reduced this season for the Chargers.
And those are...
Yeah. I want to talk about this in a little bit more of a layered way, honestly, because first of all, I'm excited to see what this run game looks like as long as Najee Harris can stop playing with fireworks, man. But I think it's more than just wanting to reduce the number of sacks, because the O-line was pretty good, and the O-line was needed to be fixed up as not more. But at the end of the day, they had around a top 10 pass block win rate from a passing perspective, and to then take as many sacks as they did, it's like you want to obviously reduce the overall amount of pressure, but then I also look to Justin Herbert to dealing with the pressure even more. And you guys know at this point, one of the main stats that I actually really do like is the pressure to sack percentage, and that really does fall more on the shoulders of the quarterback themselves. It's nothing to really do with the O-line, like nothing to do with necessarily even holding on to the ball. It's really like the pressure's there. What do you do? Do you find your way through it? Do you escape it with your legs? Do you get rid of the ball? What's the story here? And the reality is that Justin Herbert's pressure to sack percentage was top 15 in the NFL. Would be even higher too if we take away some of the people that have only played not a full season. And so like Jacoby Brissett and Tyler Huntley and whatnot. But it's still too high, because you're in this category now with C.J. Stroud, young quarterback, Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback, Russell Wilson, obviously aging quarterback, Spencer Rattler, young quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, old quarterback, Joe Flacco, old quarterback, Jameis Winston, still trying to figure out how to play quarterback, Gardner Minshew, backup quarterback. You understand what I'm saying? Baker Mayfield, pretty small quarterback. Deshaun Watson, Caleb Williams, though that's not where you want to be, quite frankly. Now, it's a little different when you use your legs a lot to expand plays. That's why even someone like a Jaden Daniels, it's a little bit more understandable, even like a Lamar Jackson and whatnot. But I believe that someone as great as Justin Herbert should not take more sacks in terms of in terms of the percentage of pressures that you're getting. I don't think Kirk Cousins should be beating you in that. I don't think Bryce Young should be beating you that, although, again, he's got a little bit more mobility to work with. I don't think Andy Dalton should be beating you with that. Drew Lock, Brock Purdy. What's the other main one that I really wanted to list here? Where's Jared Goff at? Can't find him right now. But, there it is, Jared Goff at 16.5%. And so that's what I'm actually looking more from Greg Roman. I first always look to the offensive coordinator or offensive coach to figure out, are they giving you the solutions to the problem when experiencing pressure? I don't automatically just jump to the quarterback. But of course, when you really do have some pretty great physical skill sets like the Lamar Jacksons of the world, like Josh Allen, they have cartoonishly low pressure to sack percentage, and it's just because they're just so physically gifted that they can, even if it's just usually a 2-yard loss, they somehow make it into a 1-yard gain at the minimum. And I'd like to see Justin Herbert more than see. I would feel better if it was the same number of sacks, 41. Obviously, you still want that lower, but just a significantly better pressure to sack percentage. Now, to be fair, in order for that to happen, though, that means that they would be experiencing more total pressure. So, like, ideally, you want both to go down, but you theoretically could have the same pressure to sack percentage, but now only be sacked like 30 times. And in a weird way, it's still a net positive. But in terms of looking at the development of Justin Herbert to become an even better quarterback and really ideally achieve what he's supposed to achieve, I want to see that number go down. I mean, it really becomes that straightforward. I mean, when I think of the great quarterbacks right now in the NFL, even if we just do that typical top 4 that everyone knows, right? You have Justin Herbert at 21.6, but now we go to Joe Burrow, 19.4, Patrick Mahomes, 17, and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen at 11.3 and 8.0 respectively. So, like, I'm not saying you got to get it down to like 12% here, but when I look at Justin Herbert and I look at Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford, I'm like, if they can find ways through it. Matthew Stafford had a terrible O-line, injured, banged up, only took 28 sacks. And his pressure to sack percentage was 16.4. Some of that is Matthew Stafford. A lot of that is Sean McVay. A lot of that is. So that's where, like I said, I'm looking at coordinating more than just Justin Herbert. I think it's going to be a little bit of a combination, but to me, that actually ends up being a little bit more of an important conversation than just saying, well, hopefully this O-line will be better and there'll be less pressure. Obviously, of course that's what you want. At the end of the day, like, of course that's what you want. But I still, to me, what that can also oftentimes signal to me is that a coordinator's not giving enough answers to the quarterback. And again, especially when we take away some of these quarterbacks who are just hyper mobile, then I'm trying to be like, what's the story here? Because Jared Goff is really such a perfect example of this. With Sean McVay, pressure to sack percentage low, gets traded to the Detroit Lions, doesn't have Ben Johnson yet. Pressure to sack percentage spikes, gets Ben Johnson, goes back down, right? Like, that is such a common trend that you see quarterbacks with great coaches versus bad coaches, great coordinators versus bad coordinators. So that's what I would like to definitely see be better. Justin Herbert with Shane Steichen, his best offensive coordinator to date, 13.4. He was bottom in the league. He was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, again, some of those names don't really matter because they didn't play the full season, but he was where you would want him to be. And it's actually pretty interesting because this was his worst pressure to sack percentage out of his entire career. So there's some troubleshooting that needs to take place. And that's going to be on my radar with Justin Herbert and this Chargers team, and not just the bottom line sacks number. Like, I'm going to continue to observe that because this is 2025, man. Defenses are going all in on getting after the quarterback, and offenses are going all in on trying to protect the quarterback, right? It's just that we seem to really be at, we always go on all these pendulum swings. It's the run game. No, we don't need to care about the run game. It's all about the passing game. Now it's like, nah, defenses don't really matter. Well, actually, defense does matter. And it's like we keep swinging. And right now it's peak O-line, get after the quarterback. O-line, get after the quarterback. Push the quarterback down, protect the quarterback. If you do that, everything else is easier. And that's where we're at right now. And again, it's a combination between protecting the quarterback and putting the quarterback in a position to be able to deal with the pressure when the pressure is actually there. And just the sheer fact that Justin Herbert had significantly better pressure to sack percentage, like 7, 8, 9 points here, which is that's huge. That's a chunk now. That is a real, that is not little. statistically. To me, that really definitely points to the direction of the then coaching and kind of the solutions that are given to him in these types of circumstances, because there would be nothing inherently wrong with him. When you look at a quarterback who's a little bit slower, a little bit older, a little bit smaller, like you can kind of understand a little bit, or maybe they get too sped up. They just don't deal with the pressure very well, right? It's just not what they can do well. Justin Herbert has shown to be able to do that. But like, again, you're still very much, when you're a quarterback, you are still very much at the mercy of your coaching staff. And so, yeah, I see a clip like this, and that's honestly where my mind goes more than anything. And to me, it feels a lot more practical than anything else. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Justin Herbert? And kind of how this offense can evolve, how they can not only limit pressure, but as well as kind of help Herbert out in those situations. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.